Good morning, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. Ooh, it's just squeaking into morning. I can see that it is almost lunchtime. So I just wanted to pop on, and we're actually recreating a card I have made in the past, but I have had, particularly on my YouTube channel, so many people ask me for the measurements for this card. So I thought I would actually make it again and clearly show you what the measurements are so that you can make this card yourself. Okay, so it's this Accordion Fancy Fold that I had made earlier to showcase the Forever Fern DSP, which is gorgeous. So we're gonna make it again. I'm gonna move these things off to the side, but just a reminder, that's the host code for February, if anyone is interested. And we are going to recreate this card using this beautiful Flower Field DSP, the Saleabration DSP, which you can still get until the end of February with a $60 purchase. And we're gonna use Cherry Cobbler and Flirty Flamingo. So it's a kind of Valentine-y themed colors. And then this card can be used for whatever sentiment you want. So we're gonna start, and I'm gonna show you what the measurements are, because that seems to me to be what everyone is interested in. So your card base is basically half a card. So this piece here is our standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is your card base. And then you're going to take whatever color cardstock you want, and then that's gonna just be inside of that. So that's your 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so that is our card base. We can go ahead and put those two pieces together and then set them aside. We're not going to need them again until the end. I don't know about you guys. I have it's empty now. I have a love-hate relationship with this Stampin' Seal, basically because I struggle to actually use it properly. So if you also have a love-hate relationship with the seal, the secret to success is a very gentle hand and running the seal so it is parallel to your paper. Don't hold it at an angle. And then, of course, to end it, you want to pull up on it. So I'll show you once I get this new one in here. So get our new one lined up. Sometimes you have to usually start it, so just roll it with your thumb. There we go, till we get the sticky. So then the key is, so don't hold it up like this. We want to hold it parallel, your finger there, so just run it. So it just goes nicely along your paper, and then stop by pulling it like that. Okay, that is the key. All right, so there is that base layer. And now I'm going to show you how we make the accordion fold. I've got all the score lines already done. I've cut all the DSP, and I will show you what the measurements are. And then you can refer back to this video because it will be clearly outlined. Okay, we're gonna put that aside. So now the accordion is actually basically an entire card. So this is our 11 by 4 1/4 card, okay? So I'm gonna move this page up so you can see. So this piece, 11 by 4 1/4, it's in the same color as your card base. I suppose it doesn't have to be. And then you are going to score it. So it depends which kind of end you want to go from. You're gonna score at 8. Or let's go this way. So 1 1/2, 3, 5 1/2, and 8. All right, so those are our score lines. And then we're gonna fold this way. And then you're just gonna fold back and forth like an accordion. Just gonna get out my bone folder. And then we're gonna fold back this way. Doing your best, of course, so I already didn't. So when we do this first fold over, make sure your edge so your top edge, and then we're gonna go back again. So just make sure your top and bottom edges are good. folds that way, and then this one folds in. And then this one folds back. So there, you can see we have the accordion. Okay, so again, we have 1.5, 1.5, and then these two middle are both 2.5 wide. And then our base here is 3. Okay, so if you're joining late, just when you rewind, you'll see that I've laid this out so that you can see exactly what your score lines are. Okay, but that's your card front, that's our accordion that is going to then fit on this piece. Now our DSP strips are of course just a fraction of that. So the way that I have cut these, I want this flowered one to go on the outside. So I have made it so that it is 1 1/8. I don't think you guys can see that again. I'll move this up. So 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, so I'm actually going to just put that on so I don't lose it. So 1 1/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, so that's going to go on this front fold. You could actually, if you wanted, and I might do this, I would recommend this actually. I would go 1 and so if this is 1.5, I would actually go 1 1/4 so you have less of a border, but totally your preference. Then we leave this one blank. And now this next one, I wanted to do this piece on. Okay, so this next one is 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, so the next two are both this, 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. They're all 4 1/8. It's just the width that's different. And this one goes here. And you have to remember when you're choosing your papers how they're going to show with the fold. Okay, so then right next to that we have another piece of the DSP. So this again is 2 1/8 by, oh no, 2 3/8 I said, by 4 1/8. And now I want this to be, oh, I think I decided, no, I want it to be the stripes because you can't see this one until you open the card. So really the key with this, you guys, the seal, keep this flat. I have a tendency of raising it, and when you raise it like that, you don't get a nice, the seal kind of catches on itself, and that's, I was getting really upset about that, but I realize now that that is just user error. That's me. Okay, that piece. And now we need our strip of white, because that's going to be where you would actually write in this card. So your white is actually 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. You could, of course, you could stamp on this if you wanted. You could do all sorts of things, but this really is the only spot, unless you wrote on the very back of the card, for you to write. So I leave this one blank. But that is the other option. You could write on the back. And then, last but not least, we have this tiny little strip of DSP that's going to go here. So this strip is only 5/8, again, by 4 1/8. Okay, so 5/8 by 4 1/8. And it is just going to go on the very edge. Line that up as best you can. All right, so that is our accordion. See, very pretty. You open it up. Your friends are going to see that. And then to put this card together, you're just going to center this on your card. So if you wanted, you could totally stamp around the edges. We could stamp like some tiny little flowers. I could find a different stamp set and stamp some little flowers across there. I'm going to keep it just super straightforward right now because I really just wanted to show people the measurements and how the fold works, because that seems to be what people are most interested in. I would recommend using a slightly stronger adhesive on the back of this, so either tear and tape or the Stampin' Seal, or just if you're going to use the seal, make sure you are generous with it. I'm going to use the Seal Plus. We probably don't need that much, but like I said, I want to make sure that this, because it's so big, is not going to come off the card front. I do find this happens sometimes with the Seal Plus. I don't know if anyone else finds that, where it actually pulls your paper. I feel like I must be doing something wrong. I should look into that. See, it's happening again. No, I don't seem to be getting any. Okay, not sure what's going on there. I'm gonna have to investigate that. I don't know if it's just certain pieces of cardstock and it lifts it off, or whether it's actually the Seal Plus. I would love to know if anyone else has that problem when they watch this back. Okay. So that, I'm going to fold it all up so I don't, and we're going to center it on here. All right, and then you're going to do your belly band. So what I have taken here, I've taken a 1.5 inch strip, I've left it at 11. And you're just gonna fold it around. So basically start at the back, because we're gonna put something on the front, so it's okay if it overlaps on the front. So start on the back, and then you just wanna fold it over. And we wanna do it this way. We don't wanna press too hard, because we want to be able to slide it on and off our card without ruining our card. So we want it to have a little bit of give to it. So you don't even have to have something quite this long, but by leaving it this long, it's easy to cut. But I can see on the one that I made before, I probably only had maybe a piece that was 10 inches long. What are the colors of cardstock? I'm using Cherry Cobbler and Flirty Flamingo. So I'm just going to put adhesive on this end and this end. And those are gonna overlap. We're gonna put that down. So it's gonna hold my card closed, but I still have some give to get it on and off. I do find too, if you just run it up and down a couple of times before you give it away, then you won't have any problems. And then what I have decided to do, I thought this was kind of fun. So here I punched out some hearts and I stamped and I die cut out these beautiful images because like I said, I was concentrating on using the Forever Fern bundle. This, I wanted to concentrate mostly on the fold and this fun paper. So what I did, this is the same DSP, and I just fussy cut out one of these big flower images that has the same colors in it. So I'm going to put this on, I could put it on with dimensionals, but I'm actually gonna keep it flat. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna kind of ballpark here where I wanna make sure I cover this. So I am going to put some adhesive here, and then I'm going to put some adhesive here, and that is going to cover what we need. And then I'm going to sort of tilt this how I like it, and then just adhere that down. So there it is, we're done. I didn't do any stamping. Of course, you totally could. So we could put, I could make a little banner in black maybe with a greeting, but I just like that I can now use this for anything that I need. This would be a beautiful sympathy card. It would be a great happy birthday card. You know, it would be just a, you know, I'm missing you. It would be in any kind of card. So now that belly band just slides off. We open that up and then you can write here. Or like I said, you could write on the back if you had a really long message. Okay, so you can see I've gotten a tiny little bit of adhesive there. I'm gonna use my adhesive eraser. These don't exist anymore, but I still have one. Boom, done. The other thing you could do, and this is what we actually will do because we haven't done any stamping, is put some bling on there. So what we have, I don't know if you guys have seen these. I have purchased them. We have lots of options though. We could do hearts. These wonderful gems are still active that carried over from Christmas. But what I wanted to use, let me find them. Of course, I can never find my embellishments when I want to use them, is the black matte dots. So they are new in the catalog, but like, oh, there they are. Clearly I need a slightly better system for my embellishments. But you know, that takes away from my crafting is when I actually have to organize my things. So black matte dots, they come in 2 sizes. So you could use your take a pick tool. I find these guys come off pretty easy. You don't really need it. So if we put a big one there, let's put a small one over here, put a small one up here. So you can see I could put a bit more adhesive on here. So now I might go back and just put a little bit to make sure those ends are down. And voila, we have it, you guys. So there's the Fancy Fold. Go ahead, give it a try. Dial back on the video if you weren't here from the beginning. You'll see that I've outlined all the pieces. I've shown you across my grid paper where you cut, where you score, where you fold. And it's really fairly straightforward. And have a great day.